everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a mess, but in all seriousness, I'm gonna go over some of my favorite art supplies. So let's clear this crap out the way. Alright, let's talk about some of the basics first. What you're going to start off with when you're drawing or painting, and that is the pencils. We'll get them out first. So, my most favorite pencils are to use these Colores, Prismacolors. Specifically, I love to use Carmine Red. And I also love to use this blue color, light blue. I think you already know about them. They're erasable colored pencils. Yeah, and as you can see, I have quite a bit of the red, and I have quite a bit of the blue too. It's just that this is the only one that's sharpened right now. I also have one of these little things that you can stick your pencil nubs into, because I like to, even though these are like some of the cheapest supplies you can get, I like to use everything that I can. So when the little pencils get down to little nubs, I stick them in here and I use them that way until they really have to be thrown away. I also really like to use these Staedtler Mars Lumograph pencils in the HB. Because I realized when you're doing watercolor in that, it doesn't smudge a whole lot and it doesn't leach into the watercolor. So if you want like a good lead pencil for that, I really feel that this is a great product. So these are basically my favorite pencils to work with when I'm not doing digital artwork. So I'll move those to the side. So the next stop are the erasers. I really love the Staedtler Mars plastic eraser because it doesn't produce a lot of eraser shavings, and I just feel I really love these erasers. They just do a really good job, and they can really get these. The Kohl Erase pencils don't erase as well as a regular pencil, but this can actually do a pretty good job on it. After that, of course, I have my Kneaded Eraser, because you can't get by without a Kneaded Eraser. And these are basically the two erasers that I use very regularly. I do, you can see here that I do use the erasers on the back of the Kohl Erase pencils, but they're just a basic eraser, so they aren't that fabulous. So let's move on to ink stuffs, and here we have a selection of pens that I have a lot more inking supplies than this, but these are probably the ones I use the most, and they're my most favorite. So I'll start with the Copic Multiliner. This one's in a size 0.3. This one is basically one of my favorite sizes. Whoops. Got blurry. There, yeah, it's one of my favorite sizes to work with. It's not too big, not too small. It's just a very middle of the road multiliner. In this specific one, the SP version, you can get new nibs for it and you can refill it. And my last Copic Multiliner wasn't this style, and I accidentally dropped it on the floor and the nib split in two, and I was so disappointed because there was actually still a lot of life left in that one. So I thought to myself, well, maybe we should upgrade and get something better. That way if we have accidents in the future, we can just buy a new nib. Also, what's really great about these Copic Multiliners, whoops, is that they are, as they say here, water and Copic proof, and they totally are. You can use your Copic markers with them and there will be none of that nasty bleed, and they are totally waterproof as well. And speaking of Copic, I also really like to use these little tinted multiliners. These ones are purple, and again, they are water and Copic proof. I just really like to use specifically I probably use the pink shades more. Let's see, yeah, it's just called pink. And I have a little set of these. There's actually one missing. I think it's in a tin over here. I use the pink a lot, and I really do enjoy the purple a lot. I really want to get blue, but every time I go to buy blue, they seem to be sold out. So I haven't been able to try blue yet. Next stop is this little white Uniball Signo pen. I just like to use this to cover up mistakes and also to add like things like white stars and stuff to the surface of drawings and paintings. As for coverage, it works pretty well. It's really easy to use. It's very handy. Coverage wise, it's not going to be as good as if you took a gouache or some acrylic paint to do your white overs, but just because of the ease of use and handiness, I do really like this this white pen. And last but not least, I have really come to like my Pentel pocket brush pen. I'll go ahead and open this one up if I can. Yeah, you can see it's just got a really nice brush tip on there. It's refillable, so you're not wasting like a ton of money and throwing away all these plastics. And even though I really fought with this pen in the beginning, I really came to like it, and I actually use it a lot in my sketchbooks. Okay, next up are the Copics. I do enjoy using Copics a lot, but I think I probably prefer watercolor overall. That being said, I do have some favorites here. Some of my favorites are BV31, which is pale lavender. Yeah, pale lavender. I do really like this one. This is one of my, when I'm doing anything with Copic, it's kind of one of my go-tos for shadow. This one is RV10. It's pale pink. It's like my favorite pastel pale pink. This is one of the markers that I use very regularly. It has, well, I bought a refill for this one, so I've already refilled this one. And this one is powder blue. This one I really like, especially when I'm doing like skies and background work. It's B41. I actually bought a refill for this one. Whew, it's not focusing now. There we go. There we go. I bought a refill for this one because I just use it so much. And I mean, it is a really beautiful color, but I'm not like as excited about it as the pale pink, but it's just so useful. And then here we have Snow Green, BG0000. It has like a really nice celadon color, and it's very pale. I would almost like to have one that's just a tick darker, so I might look for something like that. This one's actually almost run out, so I actually need to get a refill for it, but this is like one of my favorite go-tos. This especially paired with this pink. I use this a lot, and I know if any of you watched my sketchbook reviews or follow my Instagram, you know that I use these two colors quite a lot. So, on to watercolors, because watercolors are so great. So, I love Holbein's watercolor set, but I'm not going to go into like super big, huge detail about it, but I will talk about a couple of my absolute favorite colors in the Holbein watercolor set. And that is, surprisingly, yellow ochre. It's just got this really beautiful buttery yellow color. It's so warm and inviting, and I just love this color so much. I use it to build up even like brown hair, of course blonde hair. Let me see if I can find a quick artwork that I use this on. Okay, yeah, here's a piece in my sketchbook that I use the yellow ochre on. I use that for her hair, along with some other tints, but gosh, it's just like such a nice buttery yellow, honey wheaty sort of color. It makes me hungry. I want to go eat. It makes me think of bread. It makes me think of all those wonderful things. Of course, you know, I'm on a diet, so I'm all like fixated on food, but I think you can get the idea. It is just a really lovely, lovely color. I love it so much. Next is Prussian Blue. I really love Prussian Blues, and I think I really love holbeins as well. One reason why I really like holbeins is there isn't a lot of, it's a really smooth paint and there isn't a lot of granulation. And I know some people really like granulation, but when I'm doing things that are going to involve figures, I don't want a lot of granulation. Granulation is better for me in the background. Let me see if I can find a piece of art again that I used Prussian Blue in. Okay, this piece in my sketchbook in particular, it was part of Inktober. I forget what year. There's definitely Prussian Blue back here in the background, but a lot of times I will dilute the Prussian Blue really pale to get like a nice pastel blue as well. I really love this color, especially when you get into the like richness of these darker shades, but I also really like to dilute it and make it pastel as well. So that's that. Okay, this is one of my newer tubes. It is Holbein's Opera color, and it's not very light fast, I know that, but it is just such an amazing color, and I have a sample for it out here for you. It's just like this beautiful, wonderful hot pink color, and there it's got a little bit of a warmer cast because my aquarium's behind here, so when I move it this way it gets a cool cast, warm cast, cool cast, warm cast. Anyway, just look at this freaking color. It's amazing. How can you not like it? Well, I suppose if you don't like pink, I will give you that. But it's an amazing color. I love it so much. Oh, and this was actually me using a Tombow Fude something or other pen. But moving on. Alright, I would be remiss not to talk about my Paul Rubens watercolor set. I know I was kind of like neither here nor there on this set when I first reviewed it, but it's just become so convenient and so helpful. Like, I can travel with this, the little pans are here, you can mix it up. It's just so easy to just get it out if you just want to do a quick watercolor. You don't have to get out all the tubes or anything. You just get out this little set, a little thing of water, and you're ready to go. As for some of my favorite colors in here, probably I think this is their Prussian Blue. I can't remember exactly. But their Prussian Blue is, no, their Payne's Gray. Their Payne's Gray is actually more like a Prussian Blue, and that's why I like their Payne's Gray, because it has a lot more blue in it than just being like a blue-gray. And it's just so easy. I did all of these sketches in my sketchbook using the Paul Rubens set. It's like if you just want to doodle around and do single washes and stuff, and just play around and you don't want to have a lot of cleanup, this is the kind of thing for you, especially if you don't have a lot of space in your studio area. Using a little set like this is great. Also, when I travel, I know this is really silly, I have this little aniseed jar. We use a lot of aniseed when we bake bread, specifically Italian Easter bread. But this is a great little jar to like take water on the run with you, and that works out really well. Anyway, that pretty much sums it up for my traditional tools, because of course I have to mention my stylus and Cintiq, because as you all know, I do a lot of digital work, and I have a Wacom Cintiq, and it's so convenient. It makes life so much easier, and it's really become such an indispensable part of my art supply set that I actually have enough money in my savings account at all time to replace it should it break, because I just really feel if I lost it, like it would severely impact my work and my ability to make a living. So anyway, now it's time for Cintiq Glamour shots and another glamour shot. Woo! Wraps up my little quickie, my favorite art supplies thingy. I do hope you liked it, and I do hope maybe you were able to find some new supplies. I guess I should mention that some of my favorite sketchbooks are this Mossery sketchbook, which is, I showed you the pictures. It has a nice heavy paper. I already did a review on this, so you might check out that video. And I've been working in my Holbein watercolor multimedia book lately. I don't have a review for this yet, but I have been enjoying it so far. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.